had been away. Haven't changed, had much to say. But man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. Told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town, boys are back in town. I said, the boys are back in town. 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 Boys are back in town. Spread the word around. Guess who's back in town? The boys are back in town again.
I am the magnificent. I'm back, but the shaker was so boss, most thundering, storming, sound of soul. I am W-O-O-O, and I'm still up here again.
Who won the FA Cup in 1930? Arsenal! Correct, Arsenal.
The droughts affected most of Europe this year, and that includes Ireland. Here in the hills behind Dublin, at one of the city's largest reservoirs at Roundwood, well, the water should be lapping around my feet, but instead the scene's more like a parched desert waterhole.
It's the season when that love light shines all around us. So let that feeling grab you deep inside and send you reeling where your love can't hide, and then those feelings.
Of course, if you work from Monday to Friday, you can still at least look forward to the weekend, because according to the weathermen, the weather's going to hold good for several more days. In the meantime, for most of us, back to the chores.
Who is jumping on the wagons? Who is doing the work in this country? They're all Irishmen. Every one of them. They're Irish contractors and they're Irish labour. Who built the road into Knight's Head? John Murphy, a man from Dingle in the County Kerry. That was the man that put it through there with Irish labour. And I've heard Englishmen to say, and English women, my God, are they not savage? When they used to see the lads with their vest off, not knowing them with just the trousers. But them lads wouldn't help it.
in his bedroom, and his money he was counting. I first produced my pistol, and then produced my rapier. I said, stand over, deliver on the devil. He may take you, but your ring, dumma do dumma da. Wait for my daddy, oh. Wait for my daddy, oh. There's whiskey in the jar, oh. I took all of his money, and it was a pretty penny. I took all of his money.
Could you put your finger on one man, say this is the one man I'm really concerned about?
Mate, I'm concerned about me, Dave.
Took him down to see the old man, which is always a clincher, down in Hampshire. And in fact, he got on so well with the chairman, neither Malcolm nor I could really totally remember the terms that we thrashed out. Thank God Ken Fryer was around.
Malcolm was a big personality in the game at the time, and he was the king up in Newcastle. So we were very pleased. It put us back in the spotlight. It had been, as I say, it had been 2 or 3 years when Arsenal had really been struggling. So Malcolm signing, new manager, things looked up.
The club itself and the supporters, they just got into my blood. I loved it because it was such a professional outfit. The whole thing, everything from the very top with the chairman's, then it's Ilwood, filtering all the way down through everybody down to the tea lady. Everybody had their job and they did their utmost to do it brilliantly. Not just well, but brilliantly. I saw Arsenal as the team that would dominate the late 70s.
But it was noticeable how many of them arrived at Highbury's front door this afternoon and had to ask which way to go. It really is a new world for them. Good long high one again there towards Cheesley. Won it well in the air. Ritchie! Just over the top and very little to spare. A long, long free kick. A good, beautiful jump there by Cheesley. And just look how quickly Ritchie left everybody. And just over the top. Kingdom to man. scoop forward this time. Now Ritchie all right. He's onside. Now can he make something of this? He can't, because O'Leary did a magnificent job in defence for Arsenal. The ball's still in play though. Ritchie recovering and finding Whitehead. Another nice little cross by him. Oh, no doubt about that one from Cheesley. He's put over so many lovely little crosses, Whitehead, and there was another of them. The marking very questionable there. The heading superb of Paul Cheesley, and Bristol City score their first goal back in the First Division. The Bristol City fans beginning to shout and cheer a little louder, and it's all over, and Bristol City have come back to the First Division with a victory. The last time the sides met was 1919-1920 in the FA Cup, and Bristol City won then by a goal to nil. Now they've done it again with this goal by Paul Cheesley in the second half.
Wrapped up like a deuce, another runner in the night, blinded by the lights. Wrapped up like a deuce, another runner in the night.
It's done well, covered by Clark. And again he did well. McDonald's! Not much applause to be taken, but the man who was lying flat on his back there deserves a lot of credit for that goal.
I still remember it was autumn and the moon was shining. My sister's Cadillac was rolling down a breaker window. Doing my 20 miles, man, the moves were spinning over. Heading right for the madness, knowing that she was burning. All the guys were facing and the spinning was returning. Just let the battle sound because the brother she was burning. Bucky kept his pictures of the fucking school teacher. Had a line or something, but we knew we couldn't reach her. We told her that we needed something that would get us going. She licked that note, she let her put it on the flash.
O'Leary wins, but only to Mills. Another good clearance with three players over the far side, over Weimark's head. And there's a good one from Burchin, from Osborne rather. Well, incredible that it wasn't picked up there, but the perseverance at last paid off. And it really came from the perseverance of Gates. O'Leary gave a bad ball out to Mills. He had chance to get his cross in. It was too big for Weimark. There's Osborne with a diving header. 1-0 and 6 minutes before half-time. Well, let's see if Cooper can hit the same sort of length with his kicks this half. Not quite so long. Burchin to Weimark. Good play. Needs support from Woods. Rice going to him. Beats him, and it's Gates who's in the wrong side of Ross. Can he pull one back? What an incredible goal! Well, he must have been on the goal line when he hit that one. An amazing goal from Tiger Gates as he competes down the left-hand side there after good play by Burchin and Weimark. It looks as if Ross is on the wrong side of him, but really it looks as if he's played out of an attacking position. But the goalkeeper comes out fractionally and he squeezes it past him into the side net. Amazing. Woods under pressure from Ball. And that's a free kick given against Woods. MacDonald trying to flick on, and here's Ball. Now a good opening for fullback Nelson. Oh, and an own goal of Hunter. An extraordinary goal because that was going nowhere near the net. Well, we've had 11 minutes left, and Nelson's shot deflected into the net, and suddenly Arsenal are back in it. Well, now is the time when players like Ball could have a big influence on the outcome of this game. But there's 2 against 1 here. Only Ross is coming back to help Weimark. If he can get it into the middle, Gates is there. It's down. It's a penalty. Gotta be. No disputing about that. It was 2 against 1 as Weimark and Ross ran for it. He had support in the middle by Gates. Weimark seemed to have got free. Down he came. and it'll mean a penalty, and it's going to be taken by the left foot of Kevin Beattie. Beattie's already scored once from the spot this season, and that's twice. And I don't think Rimmer even saw it as it bounced back out of the net.
How's that? You messed about.
I'm going to negotiate with the IMF on the basis of our existing policies, not changes in policies. And I need your support to do it. But when I say existing policies, I mean things we don't like as well as things we do like. It means sticking to the very painful cuts in public expenditure on which the government's already decided. That's what I'm going to negotiate for, and I ask the conference to support me in that task.
As we approach the end of this year, it's worth looking back over the year and looking at one of the most influential groups of individuals to come to this country. For the very first time, we present the men from the International Monetary Fund.
Looking in for Brady. No, it was Stapleton, sorry. Frank Stapleton. Oh, yes, 1-0. Whitworth there. Wellington chasing it in. Rimmer was there and rushed into the net by Weller, and the goal is given. Keith Weller gets it. Rimmer doesn't like it. That's what Leicester feel about it. Tally-ho, and Weller was the man sounding the hunting horn there. Look out for the charge of the 7th Cavalry as Weller triggers this one into the box. And in they go, and there's the goal from Steve Earle. Very similar goal to the one that Stapleton scored. He wasn't marked tight. It's 2-1 Leicester, 3 minutes into the second half. Wellington, good ball, Alderson breaking clear. Matthews, number 5, and his cross was too early in. Alderson again. Has a look in for Worthington. It's for a shooting angle. Chip for Weller. Yes! 3-1, Keith Weller's second goal of the game. Leicester fans enraptured by the punchy drive of football then. Well, they're going to give it to Worthington.
The weather was dreadful throughout the whole country. It was a game played at absolute full pace, but all of a sudden you had to turn from a footballer to a ballet dancer and go tippy-tappy, tippy-tappy to keep your balance.
And the undersoil heating has certainly done its job at Highbury today. But for that, the match might not have gone on, as Arsenal kick off in the white shorts, playing from right to left. The pitch is hard down the centre, but it's softer on the flanks, especially on the far side where the sun has been shining. That's for McDonald. Gowling with Burns running on, and Rice missed it, and Burns is in with a chance, which he takes well. Pat Rice caught perhaps by the conditions, but no mistake at all from Mickey Burns. And he is the player that in recent weeks defenders have found hard to pick up. He floats in behind Gowling and Cannell, and when he got away from Rice there and went in on Rimmer, the finish was decisive. He's found Nelson. McDonald moving in on the cross. Came to Stapleton, it then came to Ross, and has hit the post and gone in. Trevor Ross, the scorer. His right foot is always dangerous. It came out to him conveniently, he kept it down. Mike Mahoney got a hand to it. It then hit the post and went in. Referee insisting on the 10-yard ruling. It's come to Alan Ball. McDonald getting up. That's the one he wanted. And how well he put it away. From the free kick, Alan Ball with the chip, Malcolm McDonald with the header, and McDonald bites the hand that used to feed him. It's had an awful lot to do with the way Arsenal have come from behind to take the lead. Gowling in the middle, so is Barraclough. Appeals for handball against Cassidy, not given. It's a good cross. Barraclough appeals for handball against Nelson, also waved away. Well, the linesman had a good view of the first one and the referee of the second, and they shook their head each time. McDonald's header, and Stapleton going in, and he did tremendously well there, and it's in. It was over the line before Nolte got it out, and Stapleton has scored for Arsenal. And no wonder they say that Stapleton's the sort of player that chases lost causes. Some forwards might have given that ball up, but he didn't. He went on running, he got it round from a difficult angle, and although Jeff Nolte hooked it out, the linesman spotted that the ball was over the line, and Arsenal lead by 3 goals to 1. On by Stapleton. And Burns is onside. A chance here for his second. Good stop by Rimmer. Look at that, centre half as well. Intelligent goalkeeping. He had to come all the way because Burns was clean through. Brady. Another promising move from Arsenal. Brady going on himself. What a fine run! And another good piece of handling by Mahoney. Lovely run by Brady. The ball, Brady seems to work out all the alternatives and play the best ball 9 times out of 10. That's not a bad ball from Ross either to Armstrong. Stapleton's on the far side, so is McDonald. Stapleton! McDonald's! 1 or 2 defenders looking towards the linesman, and there must have been just perhaps a hint of offside. But McDonald has scored his second of the afternoon, and it's Arsenal's 4th. Mickey Burns races to the linesman, and he's still complaining that when Stapleton knocked the ball across, McDonald was in an offside position and out of play. Those are the balls McDonald thrives on. Stapleton up again, there's McDonald again! He hit the bar! So close to a hat-trick. Stapleton set the chance up and McDonald hammered it, and it crashed against the bar. The terraces. Ball. McDonald's coming in on this as well. Oh, great save! Magnificent save. And the third one just won't go in for McDonald. Beautiful header and a flying save from Mahoney. Cassidy. There are 4 striped shirts in the middle, being only marked by 4. The dummy by Barraclough, the shot by Gowling. And Alan Gowling gets one back for Newcastle, although I wonder how much the pitch had to do with that. Jimmy Rimmer didn't seem to be able to get across. He looked to be stranded. It wasn't a terribly hard shot, but they had got men in the penalty area, and Alan Gowling makes it 4-2. Well, the crowd are loving this. Good ball from Cassidy for Burns, and he's through here again. Rimmer right out, and that is 4-3. Mickey Burns second. And Newcastle have come from nowhere to score 2 goals within a minute. The Arsenal defence split on the through ball. Alan Ball tried to catch him, he couldn't. Burns went on, and he's finishing there every bit as good as it was when he opened the scoring in this thrilling match. And here's ball in lots of space. McDonald wants a through ball, and he's got it. Is this the hat-trick? And again Mahoney stopped him. It's going to come to Armstrong, and he hit the bar. Mahoney stopping McDonald for what must be the 3rd time, if not the 4th. Armstrong, Matthews is the player in the middle. Had to check to stop being offside. Here comes Ross. Stapleton on the near post. McDonald! And there it is! The man that seems to write the football stories better than boys' fiction has gone and done it all over again. A hat-trick against his old club. The first time he's met them since joining Arsenal. Cannell, and off the line, Nolte, good save. Oh. Cannell with the initial header, little George Armstrong on the goal line got it out, and Nolte again brings the best out of Rimmer.
And at the end of it, I waved to the Newcastle fans, I waved to the Arsenal fans, and I got an equal response back from them both. And I thought, yeah, that's football at its very best. It really is. It was just a wonderful sporting afternoon.
Well taken by Rimmer, and McDonald is 1 against 1 up front, but it doesn't matter. The whistle goes, and Arsenal have beaten Newcastle by 5 goals to 3, and McDonald has scored 3.
Are punk rockers, the new craze, they tell me. They're heroes, not the nice, clean Rolling Stones. You see, they are as drunk as I am. They are clean by comparison. They're a group called the Sex Pistols. Beethoven, Mozart, Bach and Brahms have all died.
Ours, aren't they?
Really?
Yes.
What are we saying, sir?
Wonderful people.
Are they?
Oh, yes, they really turn us on.
What do they do?
Well, suppose they turn other people on.
That's just their tough tricks.
Which one?
Nothing, a rude word. Next question.
No. What was the rude word?
Shit.
Was it really? Good heavens.
Welcome to the Christmas edition of The Big Match. And if you're wondering where Brian Moore's disappeared to, well, I've always wanted to do this show, so I paid him 20 quid, which is 2 weeks' wages, and he went away very, very happy. But now, let me see, I've got some people to help me out today, and I really need helping out. Kevin Keegan and Mick Channon.
I'd just like to, thank you very much for lending me these glasses. I think,
And who gave you the earrings?
Actually. Sorry?
Where did you get the earrings from?
Do you like them? I thought they're quite nice, actually.
Does a lot
for you. At Watford.
Does a lot for you, that. First class. How did you get on yesterday, you two?
Well, we're celebrating, actually, because we scored 3 goals between us out yesterday. Not bad, really,
not bad.
Forwards. He got 3 and I didn't get any, but that's not
Mystery as
beside
well.
the point.
And nearly a known goal from you as well?
Yeah, well, I'm getting desperate now. I'm sort of... can't get him in at one end, so you're trying to put him in at the other. Anything will do.
I know how you feel. Anyway, enough of this bantering, and on to the real soccer fans at home. We have the first match lined up for us at Highbury, so let's go and join Brian Moore at Highbury now.
Well, thank you, Elton. And welcome to Highbury. Really heavy conditions here after 36 hours of almost constant rain. In fact, it's still raining. Surface water beginning to appear on the pitch. And the Arsenal team today, without their new signing, Alan Hudson, £250,000 from Stoke. He's got a stomach strain. Peter Storey takes the number 7 shirt. And another change force on Arsenal because of the suspension of fullback Sammy Nelson. Richie Powling gets his shirt. Manchester United, meanwhile, have had a bad couple of months. This is their side. They now leave out Steve Coppell, his place at number 7 taken by David McCreary. But good news for United fans is that 2 of their stalwarts are back in the side. Martin Buchan in the defence for the first time since October after injury. And into midfield now comes Lou Macari. He's missed the last 5 games through injury. Armstrong, nice touch again. Brady had to shake off the Manchester United players. But it was McCreary who finally gets it away, and again the flagging on the far side for an offside against Gordon Hill. And already taken. Armstrong. Oh, a lovely touch now for Ross. And McDonald! 5 minutes gone. And Malcolm McDonald pays another instalment. Another good start for Arsenal, a good break down the right. Ross very heavily involved in it again. And as it comes across the face of that 6-yard area, a simple job to finish it off for Malcolm McDonald. Sammy McIlroy, Greenoff is really hobbling badly, and I think it's only a matter of time before Manchester United have to take him off. McIlroy, oh, lovely touch by him. Oh, what a great run by McIlroy. And he scored! Well, a sad job there for Rimmer, and smiles everywhere for Manchester United and Sammy McIlroy as he tiptoed his way through that Arsenal defence. It looked at the last as though he might be held up, but the ball ran kindly to him, and he slipped it wide of a stranded Rimmer, and that's the equaliser. Ball with Forsyth. Jimmy Greenoff. Oh, and that one was wide that time from Macari. So a good comeback by Manchester United. I'm just wondering, though, how long Brian Greenoff can go on. You don't see him hobbling there, but every time he has to exert himself and go for a ball, he really is struggling. Armstrong, long ball forward. Buchan and now Brady, McDonald. Is hitting Jack Taylor, but here's Powling. Simpson. Stapleton. And Storey. Curled in once more. Simpson helping it on its way. Brady! Yes! Liam Brady! Right on half-time. The little Irishman, Liam Brady, puts Arsenal 2-1 into the lead. The ball coming in from the left, just touched on by Peter Simpson, falling nicely for Liam Brady, round a defender and into the net. So an Arsenal throw to be taken by Armstrong. McDonald. Houston away. Ball for Pearson. Touch for Macari. Lovely ball by Macari, and now Hill in full flight. Jimmy Greenoff's in the middle, Pearson's in the middle, a chip by Hill! Oh, how unlucky! Hill falls to the ground. Well, I think most of us were looking for the United players who were coming up. But Hill had spotted that Rimmer was out of his goal. A beautiful little chip. Just wise. Really, he's only got to look for Brady, the biggest man on the field, and you can be sure he's near him too. And there they go together. Storey. Stapleton. Very nearly getting that through to McDonald, and surprisingly getting another chance. Quickly up off the deck, and having another go as well, Frank Stapleton. Touching it wide for Ross this time. Armstrong on the outside, McDonald waiting in the middle. And Stapleton again is on the far side. Got the header in! Stapleton's goal! Well, the work that he put into that goal was incredible. He fought and he fought, And when he won the ball and got it away, he was there on the far post as that floated cross came in. Up went Stapleton. And MacDonald was right in there. MacDonald may just have touched it over. They may well be arguing about as to whose credit that goal goes to. Well, there's McElroy again. He's beginning to sparkle again in this game for Manchester United. But he hit it straight, and Pearson very nearly got the rebound. McElroy's good run, and the shot really is an optimistic one from that sort of angle, but it bounced off Rimmer, and Pearson hit the rebound back, again off the goalkeeper, behind for the corner. Well, Houston's up again. Hill with the corner, held him once more. He's got time now to consider what he can do again. Well, maybe he hasn't. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's beautiful, and it very nearly produced something. Well, that was a lovely piece of Christmas juggling by Gordon Hill. And it frightened the life out of Arsenal and Jimmy Rimmer. North Bank are chanting champions, and certainly Arsenal have made another big step towards becoming a contender. And here's Brady. One goal already so far in this game. Oh, and so nearly a second one. Jinking and weaving again. And a matter of inches in it at the end. And a corner, which Armstrong will take. O'Leary up again for it. And in fact, he pushed rather vigorously down on Houston as the final whistle goes. Arsenal's climb continues, and Manchester United slide likewise, with Arsenal winning by 3-1 and thoroughly deserving it as well. With Malcolm MacDonald, Liam Brady and Frank Stapleton scoring for Arsenal, with a solitary reply coming from Sammy McElroy for Manchester United. Good game. Not always difficult, not always easy conditions. But I think most people here got value for money. A final scoreline then. Arsenal 3, Manchester United 1.
Merry Christmas, Eric.
And a Merry Christmas to you too, Ed.
Inside of me, it's kind of strange, like a stormy sea. I don't know why, I guess these things have gotta be. I got a new rose, I got it good. Yes, I knew that I always would. I can't stop to mess around. I got a brand new rose in town. See the sun it shines. Don't get too close or it'll burn your eyes. Don't you run away that way. You can come back another day. I got a new rose, I got it good. Yes, I knew that I always would. I can't stop to mess around. I got a brand new rose in town. I never thought this could happen to me. I feel so strange. Oh, why should it be? I don't deserve somebody this great. I gotta go, or it'll be too late. so gotta be. I got a new rose, I got a good dance, and you there, I always would. I can't stop to mess around, like a brand new rose in town. Whoa.
Brady with it. The little chip in there towards Staple, and there's the header and the goal! Roberts giving him no room whatsoever there. Rostron. Now Brady with a yard or so, and that's a good-looking cross there towards Stapleton again. Up he goes, in towards McDonald, number 2. Well, they talked a few years ago of Radford and Kennedy, and McDonald and Stapleton are that equivalent partnership in the Arsenal of 1977. Here's Powell to McDonald. Murphy going in, Hutchison going in! Well, that really opens it up. Brady's going to take it. That looked like a push to me. Hudson with a header, McDonald with a header! And they've got that 2-goal lead again. McDonald the scorer.
Well, the news is out. Lindsay DePaul and Mike Moran will be representing Great Britain in this year's Eurovision Song Contest. And now your chance to see them for the first time with their song, Rock Bottom.
Where are we?
Rock bottom.
Tragedies.
We've got 'em.
Rarity.
Why don't we rob it out and start it again? With sympathy.
Well, I get it.
Harmony.
You said it.
Where are we?
Rock bottom.
Rub it out and start it again. Can you tell me? Can you tell me?
Oh, I don't know. Can you help me?
Can you help me? I don't know. All I know is we can do anything we want to. Where are we?
He really manages to open the play out an awful lot, does Gary Owen. Nicely laid off by Kidd to Hartford. Picks his way past 2. This is 2, and he's got a crowded penalty area. Royal!
Oh, a Jack comes out of a box. Jack comes out. The Bears came home and caught Goldilocks. That horn belongs to little boy blue. And it's a fact, girl, yes, it's a fact. Oh, a natural fact that I belong to you. Belong to you, girl. Belong to you, girl. Think a fool around, girl. I know you anything can do. I stay out in the streets, I'm out there hustling for you. Don't doubt my love, and cause my love it is true. Sit yourself down, I've got something to tell you. Something to tell you. Oh, a Jack comes out of the box. Jack comes out, Jack comes out. The bears came home and caught Goldilocks. That horn belongs to little boy Blue. And it's a fat girl, yes, it's a fat. Oh, that's true.
And welcome again to the big match. Today on the programme, as you've seen, 2 matches from the First Division and 1 from the Second. Our main match is a real thriller with a great local derby atmosphere to it as Arsenal take on struggling West Ham. And from that game, Trevor Brooking of West Ham is our studio guest today. But first, let's get across to North London and Highbury, where Arsenal, comfortably placed, take on a West Ham side looking for that spark to start a revival. This is the Arsenal side. Rimmer in goal, Rice, Howling, Simpson and Nelson, Ross, Hudson and Brady, Armstrong, MacDonald and Stapleton, with Matthews the substitute. And what good news for the Arsenal fans that George Armstrong, for so long said to be on the move, has now had talks with manager Terry Neal, and there he is in that familiar number 11 shirt. This is the West Ham side he'll be facing. Day in goal, Bonds, Green, Locke and Lampard, Devonshire, Brooking and Otolakowski, Taylor, Radford and Billy Jennings there because Brian Robson is injured. Keith Robson is the substitute. Familiar ground, of course, for one man, the former Arsenal favourite John Radford, coming back to Highbury now in a West Ham shirt. And an unfamiliar look about this one, skipper Billy Bonds, now without that famous beard. Referee Ron Challis from Tunbridge in Kent. And the crowd is just over the 38,000 mark.
So there we go, West Ham in a change strip of white with light blue shorts, attacking the goal to our right as Billy Bonds plays it back to his goalkeeper Mervyn Day. Arsenal, of course, in their familiar red shirts with white sleeves. Arsenal with only 1 home defeat of the season. That's at home to Bristol City on the opening day. West Ham with only 1 away win in the league at Manchester United. Radford. Oh, a nice touch there by Radford. And Billy Jennings couldn't quite turn it inside. But a throw to West Ham. Trevor Brooking with the West Ham throw. Jennings. Corner for West Ham. Big Bill Green's coming up, probably the tallest man on the field. And Frank Stapleton, very good header of the ball, coming back to mark him. There's the corner. Green with the header, just wide. Well, it was a good curling corner, that, from Brooking, and Green made that final sprint over the last 5 yards that lost his shadow. Just a little annoyed with himself, having made that ground and having got his head to it, that he didn't put it on target. Rim with the kick. Stapleton winning it. Otolakowski. Devonshire. Rice. Oh, a nice dummy there by Hudson. And a beautiful drag back there by Brady. And a good bit of free running here by Nelson. And a long cross on the far side towards Malcolm MacDonald, and Bill Green is up there and nodded away for the Arsenal corner. Well, that was a nice dummy by Hudson and a really beautiful drag back by Brady that put Arsenal on their way there. Nice bit of skill. Armstrong then with the corner. Floated in once more. Day missed his punch again. Hudson with the shot. Presumably to Brady, although the muddle was a great one and a disastrous one so far as West Ham's concerned, as that ball came floating in. Brady it was who got the touch that mattered, and it's in the back of the net for 1-0 to Arsenal. So 14 minutes gone. Brady puts Arsenal ahead. Only his 4th goal of the season, and really quite a setback early on here for West Ham, whose troubles, goodness knows, are big enough already.
chasing, but he should get there before Stapleton. Corner given. The handling there may be just a little suspect by Mervyn Day. Here's another curling corner. MacDonald with a header. And that time it was Locke who chested it off the line. Arsenal are getting in important headers in that West Ham penalty area, and that was another of them as Armstrong floated in that corner. MacDonald was up so well, and Locke came to the rescue. Free kick to Arsenal. Hudson and Brady over it. Hudson playing it in towards MacDonald, but was blocked on the way. Here's Nelson. Right foot shot. Good Lord, that was no more than 6 inches wide. Sure that Mervyn Day felt that was going wider than that. Nelson taking it on his right foot. Too close for comfort for West Ham. Downing's header. Lampard's kick. And Taylor very slow getting back into an onside position there. Caught 3 or 4 yards offside. Stapleton. Brady now. Simpson. Here's Locke. Looking just winning that for West Ham, but it's Brady now for Arsenal. Back for Rice. Armstrong. Hudson. Brady. Well, the ball going straight to Alan Taylor. He's found Radford. In turn, looking for Billy Jennings. Donald right back there. Brooking playing it on. A good ball played there for Alan Taylor. This will be the equaliser, and it is for Alan Taylor. 1-1. 23 minutes gone. There certainly was a suspicion of offside as Taylor took up the running. In fact, the Arsenal players looked at the linesman, but Taylor got the better of Rimmer. And a simple chance of putting it in the back of the net. Arsenal 1, West Ham 1. And the man who scored it, Alan Taylor. And the man who made it, Trevor Brooking. Well, that'll raise West Ham's spirits an awful lot. Their first real dangerous attack. And they've got back on level terms now, but here's Rice. MacDonald. Off to Lukowski. There was a bit of muddle there until Bill Green got it away. Simpson planting it in again. MacDonald letting it run. That was a handball by Stapleton. MacDonald's dummy fooling him as much as it did everybody else. Brooking's ball now to Billy Jennings. Played forward for Devonshire. Nelson's with him. Oh, he's turned Nelson well. And he's got a good shot in too, Devonshire. A young lad from Slough, only 20 years old, from the Isthmian League. Turned Nelson well there and got a reasonable shot in. Brady. Brooking beaten there by the challenge of Simpson. Here's MacDonald. Lovely ball there by MacDonald to Armstrong. Rice going up outside him. What a game with a lot of movement to it now. Stapleton's gone towards the near post. MacDonald the far post. Oh, that was a good piece of overlapping by Pat Rice. And as Stapleton ran towards the near post, West Ham's eyes may have strayed towards him, and it was a deeper one that MacDonald almost made count. Radford beaten in the air. Hasn't had much luck in the air against Peter Simpson so far this afternoon. Brooking, who is very involved indeed for West Ham. Here's Radford. Alan Taylor, scorer of the equaliser. And now Stapleton. Hudson. Nelson. Brady. Devonshire coming away. Plenty of West Ham players up. Radford wanting away on the left. Brookings up with him as well. Radford now moving across to the right. Alan Taylor coming out quickly. It's a question of timing the pass. Oh, and indeed he timed it well, and a great shot there by Alan Taylor, hitting the legs of Jimmy Rimmer. But Devonshire showing a very cool head there indeed, and a great burst of speed by Taylor up on the left. And the timing of the pass was perfection. Good ground shot off the goalkeeper's legs. Simpson, Stapleton, and Locke playing it back to Mervyn Day. Billy Jennings. Radford with him. It's Radford's knock on and a free kick given for a push by Sammy Nelson on Radford. Another free kick to West Ham. Brooking and Bonds behind it. I think it'll be Brooking, indeed it is. One of those curling, tantalising crosses. Radford up well, and Jennings out for the goal! West Ham in the lead. Brooking's long free kick was the one that set it all up. Just look at that free kick curling in there. No chance for the goalkeeper to come and get that. Radford up beautifully. Billy Jennings turning it in just inside the post. Arsenal 1, West Ham 2. And Billy Jennings, who got up and made that goal after Radford had jumped so beautifully himself from Brooking's free kick. Well, they've shown a lot of character in the last 10 minutes, West Ham, coming from that goal down to go 2-1 into the lead. Where traditionally they don't do all that well. Referee having a look at his watch. First half almost over now. And in fact, there goes the half-time whistle. A good example of West Ham's character coming back after Liam Brady had put Arsenal ahead. A really sloppy goal, that, from West Ham's point of view. But they got back on the mark with Alan Taylor. Just a suspicion of offside about that. And then their character really showing as they went into the lead with that header by Billy Jennings after some tremendous work by Brooking and by John Radford. So far so good for West Ham as they try to climb away from the basement, and I think probably a very good second half to come here at Highbury. The half-time score, though, is Arsenal 1, West Ham 2. We'll be right back with that second half. Welcome back to Highbury then, with West Ham leading 2-1. Really a very critical 45 minutes facing the Hammers now. Certainly if they can hang on to 2 points here, they might be on their way. And Billy Bonds and Malcolm MacDonald getting really stuck in there. Linesman on the field. Well, in the first 10 seconds of this second half, an incident there involving MacDonald and Billy Bonds. And the referee calling the pair of them together. And MacDonald still complaining to Billy Bonds about, presumably about a tackle. I didn't see that one myself. Phil Green can smile. But MacDonald looks serious. The referee has calmed him down. Well, that was a fairly explosive start to the second half. And the upshot of it is, in fact, a free kick to West Ham. Well, Bonds with it. off the top of Powling's head. Hit by Billy Jennings. No power, no direction, goal kick. As I was saying before Mr. Bonds and Mr. McDonald rudely interrupted, it's if West Ham can hold on to this 2-1 lead, these 2 points after their victory against Stoke last week, they must begin to believe that they can in fact climb out of that first division basement. So Lampard will eventually retrieve that ball from that little moat. 13 minutes on of this second half. West Ham throw, or rather an Arsenal throw. So a special little pit there for the cameramen, whose pictures you'll see at the breakfast table, or have seen this morning. McDonald right in there, whistle gone, free kick, home count. Billy Bonds getting in there. Looking right back. Stapleton. It's a good cross there to McDonald. Well, how on earth did they keep that one out? What a lovely cross by Frank Stapleton. A real beauty of a cross. McDonald was up there, Locke was in there, Day was up there, and somehow they kept it out. Corner then for Arsenal. Armstrong with it. Brady's header knocked off the line by Locke. That's twice in this game he's done it. And the ball not away yet. We'll have a look at the end of that in just a moment. Let's see what Powling can do with this one. And Locke gets it away again. Armstrong's corner. Brady getting in with the header. And Locke off the line. Stapleton's header to Armstrong. Free kick given. Foul on Armstrong. Brady. And Arsenal getting on with it now, feeling that the old pendulum's beginning to swing their way a little bit with all this pressure. Brady now. And it's there by Stapleton. 2-2. The virtue of a quickly taken free kick. Maybe catching West Ham just that little bit off guard. Brady involved again after Armstrong's free kick. And the ball coming through to Frank Stapleton, past Mervyn Day, sure as an arrow. Arsenal 2, West Ham 2. So now it really is a case of hanging on for West Ham. Here's Rice. Here's Armstrong. And Otto Lukowski just getting the touch. But it seems to be an unfair touch on Ross, which gives Arsenal this free kick. Armstrong with it, curling in, Lock away. An Arsenal throw. Armstrong, Rice, Brady, Hudson, McDonald, nice touch there, stopped by Locke. It's all hands to the pump now for West Ham. Nelson, Stapleton, goal kick. Jennings right in there. Simpson, plenty of Arsenal defenders back, 4 of them there in that little situation. Stapleton, Brady, very nifty footwork again by Liam Brady. Armstrong. Ross. That surely looked to be obstruction, but here's Rice. And now Long. It'll come for Armstrong. Hudson. Beautifully skillful play there by Hudson. Poked away by Locke, only to Brady. Nelson going up fast on the far side. Certainly both Arsenal fullbacks, the 2 and the 3, getting into some strong attacking positions. And here's Rice in one now. Deep cross towards Malcolm McDonald. There's the header. Oh, and a great save by Mervyn Day. Well, it was Rice, one of these defenders coming forward. An inch perfect centre. McDonald caught it well. I think Mervyn Day maybe thought of catching it, but he managed to push it round for the corner. Armstrong with that corner now for Arsenal. Brookings' header not getting very far. Devonshire's header not getting very far. Otulakowski then. Oh, Powling! Oh, and a corner. Great shot by Powling. A wicked deflection that might have fooled Mervyn Day. In the end, it went wide for another corner. So West Ham again with all hands to the pump. Armstrong with the corner. Brookings' header. And Alan Taylor bringing West Ham a little bit of relief. Here's Powling. Probably play it safe back to Rimmer, or will he play it? Yes. To Nelson. Hudson. Nice ball by Hudson for Stapleton. Good shot, wide again. In fact, it was a bad shot. That's not where most of the battle's going to be now. I think it's going to be in the West Ham defence against Arsenal coming forward. And there is Jennings. Throw to Arsenal. Thanks to the likes of Bonds and Locke, Green, Lampard and Brooking. They're the people, I think, who are going to be able to steady the boat and keep West Ham afloat now. Free kick to Arsenal. Stapleton being told to go to the right by Rice, and that's just where he's put the ball onto the head of Stapleton. Locke getting it away again, not very far. Brooking with a chance to run it unless Armstrong can get there, which he does, and finds Rice. Stapleton, a beautiful ball there for Ross. Nice tackle, though, by Otulakowski. Too high for Brooking. Here come Arsenal again with Hudson. There's the flick for Brady. Back again for Hudson, who's yet to score for Arsenal. Oh, and what a save by Day! Twice! Well, Hudson really let that go. He's not yet scored for Arsenal, and he came so close to it then, but for the miracles of Mervyn Day. Knocked it into the air and somehow grabbed it again. Taylor. Nice turn. The pass to Jennings. The touch for Brooking. Otulakowski has come up quickly on this side. Here he is. Lampard's gone up as well to join him. That's the ball aimed for Frank Lampard. Armstrong shrugged off that ball by Lampard. Good cross. Oh, and a brilliant goal. A brilliant West Ham goal by Alan Taylor. 3-2 into the lead. They worked that superbly across the face of that, the Arsenal penalty area. Brooking was very much involved with it. And finally it was turned in sharply from the left, and Alan Taylor was in there like a rocket. Arsenal 2, West Ham 3. A quarter of an hour to go. His second goal of the game. And before today, His total was only 4, but Brooking again had a part in that. So did Otto Lukowski. And now Arsenal are behind again. Day's catch after a brilliant save that kept West Ham afloat a couple of minutes before it. Well, I must say, for headed goals, that one of Alan Taylor's a moment ago, that really takes a bit of beating. Well, that was confidence for you. An overhead kick there by Simpson, not even looking, knowing that Rimmer would be properly placed, which he was. Otto Lukowski. Oh, what a ball! And a beautifully timed run by Taylor. Is this the next one for West Ham? There's a little chip. Oh, and he's missed it. Well, that really was a brilliant ball by Otto Lukowski. Alan Taylor onto it. And it was just wide of the goal and out of the reach of Billy Jennings. Lampard. West Ham really got to fight out these last few minutes to preserve this 3-2 lead. Alan Taylor right back there, but the whistle had already gone for a foul and a free kick to Arsenal. Arsenal will throw everything at West Ham now in a bid to get this equaliser. Powling's gone right in there, and Otto Lukowski gets it away for West Ham, when it might have fallen to any one of half a dozen Arsenal players who were lurking close by. MacDonald now with the throw. Referee looking at the watch, and a good long throw it is. Locks header away, straight back to MacDonald again. Another throw. A minute and a half to go, 90 seconds. MacDonald again, planting it in, this time towards Sammy Nelson. And Billy Bonds whacking that one away for West Ham, and here's Jennings. Jennings and Rice, the only two are up. And in fact, Jennings could have given West Ham a little more breathing space there instead. And the linesman on the far side flagging for an offside, and a good decision there by the linesman, although MacDonald had run back into an onside position. He was offside when that ball was played. So a free kick to West Ham. 1 minute to go. And they're going to play it back carefully, cautiously. Long kick of Day again. Hudson. Simpson being challenged. Free kick, whistle. Lampard there first. No, the referee wasn't happy with that free kick, and Simpson and Radford, I think, maybe having a few quiet words. It's got to be taken from the right place. Rice with the kick. As we go into injury time now, MacDonald turning it down. MacDonald again. Going all the way, and Day falling at his feet, and that's a crucial save at a crucial moment. MacDonald really playing a beautiful 1-2 there, and looked for a moment as though he was right the way through until Day flung himself at his feet. Referee again, looking at his watch. Both linesmen have signalled to him at this moment that the full 90 minutes is up, and indeed we've had nearly a minute of injury time. Radford's header. Radford again. And that's a goal kick. Again, a look at that Ron Chalice watch. Played a full minute of injury time. And West Ham have done it. 2 precious points, and Alan Taylor with 2 goals. John Radford, Alan Taylor with 2 precious goals. And no one, I should think, Billy Jennings, of course, who got the other one. There are the West Ham goal scorers who've given them a bit of hope. with Brady and Stapleton having scored for Arsenal, and the number 8 there in the light shirt, John Radford, coming back to his old stamping ground here at Highbury and helping West Ham, his new club, to such an important victory. Mervyn Day with 1 or 2 really tremendous saves, one in particular from Alan Hudson just before West Ham got their winner. And really an enthralling game that swung so many different ways here at Highbury today, with a final scoreline: Arsenal 2, West Ham 3.
Well, even though Arsenal had more of the game, that was the second successive win for West Ham. And here in our studio with me is West Ham's England midfield man, Trevor Brooking. And the happiest weekend I think you've had for a long time.
Yes, it's nice to go out and face a few people when you've got 2 points.
In fact, a big change has come over the club. I know when Mervyn Day was in here a bit earlier this season, when things were going badly, he said you almost went out feeling you weren't going to win.
Yeah, well, results become a habit, really. When you're winning, you go out there believing that whatever happens, you're going to get a result. And it works in reverse when you're in a bad run, for instance, November, December time. We went out there possibly when we conceded a goal, and you could see the confidence drain from the side. But yesterday, when we equalised, we became a different side again, and the flying football came back.
There was an element of offside, it seemed, about that equaliser after a very sloppy old first 15 minutes or so when you conceded a goal. Let's have a look at it now, Trevor.
Yes.
It doesn't really show up all that well because your pass coming up in a moment.
There, I think you've got to give credit to Alan Taylor, actually. He's got tremendous acceleration. Over 10 yards, he'll beat anyone. And there, he's just got away from the defence, which was fairly square at that stage. And there's just calmly side puts it in.
Yes.
And that really was a turning point, actually.
He had a good game, didn't he, Alan?
Alan, he's had a bad ankle injury, was out for a couple of months before Christmas, but the last 4 matches he's looked very sharp, and the goals yesterday are doing him a lot of good.
If I can talk about you for a moment, it seemed to me that you were more tigerish than I'd seen you for a long time in midfield yesterday. You were really, not exactly getting stuck in, but you were terribly involved. Was that...
Well, I think possibly that was a criticism of my play the last 18 months ago, 2 years.
Everybody used to say the elegant Trevor Brooking.
That's right. And I think I used to be tackled but never tackled back. Yeah. So I think that's something I've tried to work on in training the last season or 2. And touchwood is rubbing off a little bit.
Yes. I mean, playing in a struggling West Ham side and indeed in a struggling England side, has it been a very happy season for you? I mean, have you enjoyed playing?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Actually, strangely enough, I probably feel I've played more consistently this season than ever before. Certainly, when the results start coming like they have the last couple of weeks, it makes a big difference to everyone within the club. Touchwood, the spirit of the lads has been tremendous, but there's nothing better than winning games. No. And training this week, I'm sure you'll see a difference.
Yes. Let's talk about the 2 youngsters that you share the midfield with now. One is Alan Devonshire, 20-year-old, came from Slough, didn't he?
Done exceptionally well. Came into the side just before Christmas. Got a lot of natural ability. Goes past people very easily. Really, I think he's had about 12 to 15 games, and he's not had a bad game. Here you can see got a lot of speed. Shields the ball well there from Sammy Nelson. Turns inside him, gets a couple of yards and gets in his shot.
And that's what midfield players have got to do, isn't it? Get up and get the shots in.
But he gets back well. He doesn't sit back. There he wins a knock-on. He's got a lot of speed, gets away from people quickly. He's got acres of space there.
And he's looking up all the time, Trevor, isn't he?
That's right, yeah. He just releases this ball just at the right time. And Alan comes in there, and Jimmy Rimmer does well, actually. He could have just sneaked under his body, actually.
And
but he's done very well.
Yeah. And the other one, of course, is the commentator's nightmare, Anton Otolakowski.
Yes, I think I'll stick to Anton. He's done very well. He's probably the smallest player in our side, but he's very tigerish, gets into the tackle.
From Barnsley.
And he sees things early. In this particular instance here, he wins the ball, drifts past that player very easily. And here again sees Alan Taylor off on a run, and he split the defence completely there.
What was Alan trying to do here, do you think? Was he trying to chip the keeper, or did he notice Billy Jennings?
He thought about squaring the ball, and then a bit unlucky, didn't drift over by much. If it had gone in, everyone would have said well done. But as it went over, then they said possibly he could have squared it across.
Yeah.
He probably saw the match ball in his sights and went for a hat-trick.
I think a lot of people felt that you were hanging on at 2-2. When they pulled you back to 2-2, it was a bit of a struggle. But the winner was really something exceptional, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and again, Alan Taylor.
Yeah, we needed that really at that stage. For 20 minutes, Arsenal had put us on the rack.
And he started it, Alan Taylor, right on that touchline, which I hadn't realised at the time.
Slips the ball inside there. Bill Jennings just lays the ball back to me. Thought about having a shot from there, but come up here, Frank makes the extra man, and little Anton sees the ball very early. Frank just gives a little friendly shoulder charge to George and whips in a great cross, and there's Alan. Found space just at the right spot.
And he covered a fair bit of ground to get there.
Again, it's acceleration, really. He probably just got a yard from the far post, and he's there.
So the signs are there for you, obviously, and the next couple of weeks are going to be crucial, aren't they?
Yes, we've got Bristol City next week, which we've got to win.
That's at Upton Park?
Really, yes, at home. They've got 2 games in hand, so though they're only 1 point above us, they're a little bit better off than it looks. So we need to beat them. And then we go up to the northeast to face Sunderland. And then we've got Man City at home. But at least after the last couple of weeks, we see a little bit of daylight.
Yeah, and just as losing can become a habit, so can winning also, Trevor, I suppose.
I hope we prove the point, anyway.
Thank you very much for coming in today and talking to us. Well done yesterday. Next weekend is a special FA Cup tie weekend, when we shall bring you the 5th round of the FA Cup, a preview in On the Ball in World of Sport, and 3 of the cup ties, of course, in a special cup edition of the big match next Sunday afternoon.
David Mills. Sammy Nelson, who was booked here in the league game, making his presence felt on David Mills. So Middlesbrough get a free kick. Souness curling it in. Comes off Rice. Bohm. Pushed out. Bohm again. Now Mills! David Mills! The man with the golden touch gives Middlesbrough the perfect start. All starting from the free kick. Stuart Bohm it was, who made life difficult for Arsenal. Jimmy Rimmer could only push it out. Bohm again, and it comes to Mills, onto the right foot. No chance for Rimmer. Comes off Alf Wood. Now Borsma. Inside Rice. Phil Borsma trying to do it on his own. Pulling it back for Mills. Stopped on the line, but Mills following it up, and Arsenal complain. Mills celebrates. And David Mills goes across to congratulate Phil Borsma, because that goal was all about his positive running. 13 minutes gone. Phil Borsma looking to take on Peter Simpson. Gets past him, O'Leary's forced to come across, and there's space for Mills, whose first go was blocked on the line, and no mistake second time. Terry Neal there, pensive expression, and indeed it's entitled to be, after another poor start from Arsenal here at Ayresome Park. Brady going on, brought down by Craggs. I think a case really of too much skill for the defender. Craggs just a little bit outskilled on that occasion and bringing the man down.
Free kick taken. Comes across for McDonald. 2-1. So the original foul by Craggs is punished. And Supermac puts Arsenal back in it. The ball curled in, and they'd all gone to the near post, and everyone missed it. McDonald stoops to conquer, and it's 2-1. Hudson finds McDonald, trying to reverse the ball wide for Brady, getting rather stuck in the mud. And now Souness, with Armstrong in the middle, and Boersma there too. Here's Armstrong, and it's 3! David Armstrong keeps up his scoring form in cup ties. Arsenal caught very square. Souness had run beautifully from the middle of the field. There were two up with him. One of them was David Armstrong, and he just needed a touch with Rimmer going the other way. And it's 3-1. Brian, the timing of the pass so important. And he got it wrong because Mills and Boersma were offside. Rice. Ross has made a forward run, goes in for Hudson. Hudson again. Now Matthews with McDonald in the middle, and Matthews has hit the post. McDonald, surely, no! Poor John Matthews, shaking his head in disbelief, and that really would have brought Arsenal back into the match and set up an outstanding finish. Matthews brilliantly striking it on the volley, beats the goalkeeper. McDonald arm raised already thinking it was going in. It came back off Bone. Another chance for McDonald, who couldn't turn enough, and it went wide. Hudson, Stapleton. Middlesbrough keeping possession. Now a chance to move forward themselves with Brian. McAndrews made a good run forward. Brian very nearly in trouble, in fact Matthews taking it away from him. Ross. Arsenal still pushing forward. Craggs. But only Wood up. Craggs gets past Nelson. Mills is coming forward into the box too. Wood to the far post. Mills has checked out, and it goes back for Brian. Mills wants it into the near post. A chance for Mills, and a fine save. Could have been the hat-trick. Denied by Rimmer. But a lovely little chip from Peter Bryan. Mills had got away. It fell into his path, and Rimmer stopped it brilliantly. 2 minutes now to play. Middlesbrough 2 minutes away from a place in the draw for the 6th round. McDonald! Oh! Malcolm McDonald out of nothing, so nearly made it 3-2. Now Cooper. Still Terry Cooper. Push out, the hat-trick for Mills, surely! What a finish!
He was born on a summer day in 1951. And with the slap of a
Weimar, it might be on for Talbot. It was. There's a commitment and an urgency about Ipswich now, which reflects the position they find themselves in. 2 valuable points there for the taking, with the game balanced as it is at the moment. And there goes Birchin onto the flick from Mariner. And that could sew it up. But here's Birchin for Ipswich. Oh, what a mistake! Mariner!
Arsenal walk beneath the sign that has frightened many teams, but their record here at Anfield, the best of any First Division side. In their last 4 visits here, they have won 3 times and drawn once, and haven't been beaten at Anfield in the league since 1972. The team is the one that finished the match against Tottenham on Easter Monday, which means the midfield consists of David Price, Liam Brady and Alan Hudson. But for Liverpool, the start of 8 eventful days, which even by their standards, as they take the field here at Anfield, could prove exhilarating or exhausting. Today it's the league, but just round the corner for these players, the 2 important cup semi-finals. And their team showing one change. David Fairclough has joined the injury list, which already consists of Thompson, Callaghan and Toshak, and Fairclough's replacement at number 10 is David Johnson. But with Alan Waddle, the substitute, not having played in the first team for over 2 years, even Liverpool's resources now are very definitely stretched. Terry Neal, the Arsenal manager, who has told his team that he wants patient, careful football today to try and take the sting out of Liverpool's traditional home style. Arsenal in yellow shirts and white shorts, attacking the Kop end in the first half. The afternoon sunny, and the pitch looking particularly well for this time of the season. Foul by Kennedy. The sun is causing a moment's hesitation to David O'Leary when that ball's in the air. Pat Rice saving the corner. But this is Highway. Jones. That was out by Young. This is McDermott. Now it's Case. Neal. Deflection! It's there! Phil Neal, the scorer, but Jimmy Rimmer, I suspect, beaten by deflection. Neal, who scored so many valuable goals for Liverpool. There was one in Zurich the other night. 2, in fact, counting the penalty. Another one here today, left foot shot low. I think it may have caught Brady. Brady. It's a good run. Stapleton's there, fine save by Clements. Beautiful save. No wonder Emlyn Hughes applauds. And Frank Stapleton is entitled to feel disappointed. Brady, a lovely run down the left, the cross perfectly measured, Stapleton's header speeding for the net, and Clement's right arm underlining why he's England's goalkeeper. And that was the last effective touch of the first half, in which Liverpool led with the goal by Neal. Highway on the break. Johnson just coming short. Only Keegan in the box. Johnson's run and shots, good save! Keegan! Delight and relief for Liverpool. And David Johnson, who came in today for Fairclough, just underlines that when Liverpool bring players into the side, they always seem to do so with effect. That was a good run by him, the left foot shot beaten out by Rimmer, and Keegan, the super optimist, was on hand to make it 2-0 with 76 minutes gone. Arsenal may not have offered all that much, but you've got to see this as another fine all-round Liverpool performance. Jimmy Case and Kevin Keegan, both prominent in a match that was run from first to last by Liverpool. A goal in each half was quite enough for the 2 points. And when you see them play like this, and brush aside any tiredness, you know that the treble here at Anfield is still very much on.
Sweet baby, you got all the things you ever wanted from this world. You have been surrounded by all the finest things in life since you were a little girl. Now you changed, but not me. I'm still just an ordinary guy. Yet I'll give you all the love that you need if you just let me try. Girl, I can prove it. Yeah, I can prove it. But I can prove it. Girl, I can prove it. Have you had enough?
Swinging out towards Booth's head. 1-0! Couldn't ask for a better corner than that. Couldn't ask for a better header than the one with which Tommy Booth met it. But maybe Spurs could ask, where was the man who should have been going up with it? Barnes. That could fall for Stewart. What a beautifully taken goal. Peter Barnes did well, needed his courage to get the header, but he saw Stewart coming and put the ball perfectly in his path, and Dennis Stewart flashed it past Jennings. Hartford finds Tommy Booth. Booth's pass knocked on by Owen, chased by Barnes. Now can he finish this one? Oh yes! Oh, what a beauty! Oh, that was so well done. Owen managed to help it on to Barnes, and Barnes that time kept his head, lost his man, and he sold Pat Jennings a dummy out of the record books, and then just chucked it over his head. Barnes. And Hartford! 4-0, and this is turning into a run. The corner came over, was headed firmly away, but straight to the right foot of Asa Hartford, and back it went before Jennings could move. Stewart now, and he's got Kidd unmarked inside him, and Osgood in two minds. Kidd, 5-0. A bad back pass that let Stewart in, but then it always looked a likely goal as they set off from 10 yards inside the Spurs half. Stewart down the right, Kidd through the middle, and Osgood not certain which way to go. Kidd took the pass from Stewart and took his time, put it past Jennings without any trouble at all.